Hello and welcome. I'm Silpa Salati, Client Operations Director at V Technologies, and I am so excited to introduce our guest today, Richard Black. Richard is the Director of Engineering Operations. Richard, thank you so much for taking the time to share some of the highlights about your recently written white paper on embracing the change of senior leadership. What is happening in the industry, or rather in the world, that makes this such a compelling topic of discussion?
Thank you, Silpa. Yes, the change in leadership happens all the time. It's an evolutionary process. And with that, we have to make sure that with new guy or girl coming into a position, that we could equally well work with them as perhaps the long-standing person that we had in position before.
Whether it's a small company or a large one, it could be a high risk approach for a company to make such a major change in their senior leadership. There's so many different reasons for companies to make this switch. Can you touch on a few of those?
Yes, it's getting very common that people are moved on from one position. It may be that person has been in that position in a training position in order to learn more knowledge, and they get moved to a different part of the company, say, for instance, from financial to administration, that type of thing. There's also such things as people reaching the age of retirement and they move on to enjoy their relaxed life. It could be that the person is actually promoted out of the position that they're in to a higher position. And all these things lead to a constant change in leadership, senior leadership within any company, as you said, whether it's small or large.
That's true. Those are all very compelling reasons. I'd love to know from your expertise, what are some of the strategies that can ensure that this transition is effortless?
One of the main strategies is, first of all, to have a process, some way that you're working, which introduces the change in small bite-sized lumps rather than just offload everything onto the person coming in at once. By small incremental change, and the process is outlined in the white paper, it keeps the stress level of the person coming in at a much lower level than if they were just left to run with whatever the position entailed.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Richard, lastly, are there any key takeaways that you have for our audience today?
Yes, the big key takeaway, again outlined in the white paper, is communication. I can't overemphasize that the need for direct and insightful communication at all times is essential if a person's coming into a new position of leadership and is working with our company. We have the process, and communication is the key.
Richard, thank you so much for all this insight. I hope the audience is just as excited as I was to read your white paper. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. Please visit us at vtechnologies.com to download and share Richard's white paper. Thank you.